Today is the second tranche of announcements towards building a Atmanirbhar Bharat. The slides will go on, but before we start the slides, just want to let you know that today's initiatives, which are getting announced as a part of the second tranche that we are announcing today, focuses on migrant workers, street vendors, small traders, self-employed people, small farmers. And when I say small farmers, there are a few items we say. So in all, about 9 steps that I will be announcing today. 3 relating to migrant workers, 1 related to the Sishu loan within Mudra, 1 related to street vendors, 1 housing, 1 related to employment generation largely for tribals and in those in the tribal pockets, and 2 related to farmers, particularly small farmers. But even as I say this, since you have been keenly listening and hearing what we are saying, many of them may have overlaps with the next package that we'll announce. So on farmers, for example, it's not as if I'm giving only 2 steps, nothing more. Arey kisan ke liye chhod de kaam. No, there will be more. But today I'm bringing in 2. Just as I said, in each of the package, we'll keep in mind and prioritize concerns related to migrant workers, poor, those who are, in need, and therefore that will continue. So if I have not spoken about a certain thing today, it's not as if Government of India has forgotten. After all, let's please remember, within hours of having announced the lockdown, the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana was for the poor, was for transferring cash to the poor, was for giving grains for the poor, and so on. And that's not enough. We will come with more. We are announcing more. So let's not look at each one of the silo as though that was the only thing. As I said earlier, there are tranches of announcements. Many things might overlap. Many of them might get mentioned here as well as mentioned once more somewhere else. So just a broad understanding on that. And before I get to talking about what we are doing on the migrants, I just want to let you know that about 3 crore farmers had availed loans which were given to them earlier in concessional rates, I think, which was direct support to farmers. And those 3 crore farmers had availed of agricultural loans which were over 4 lakh crores. 3 crore farmers who are marginal farmers had already benefited from 4 lakh crores of credit given to them. And those people who have availed of these credit through the Reserve Bank were also given a moratorium. For the next 3 months, you don't have to pay your EMI and so on. Now, the interest subvention, which is normally given for prompt repayment in time, was extended till March. Now we are extending it up to 31st May 2020. So that is a thing which was already availed of, and for that we are giving a bit of an extension. And in the last 2 months, 25 lakh new Kisan credit cards have been given, which entails that they can take concessional credit. They are actually marginal farmers. So we've not forgotten them. And those 25 lakh new Kisan credit card holders have also been given or sanctioned a loan which totals to 25,000 crores. These are recent happenings. So there may have been a lockdown, but the government was not sitting quiet. It has been attending to a lot of those who are in the margins of our society, who are desperately in need of assistance to carry on with their small work. So that is something which I want to draw your attention to before we move on to today's package.
Again, before I go over to specifying what programs we have for the second tranche, one quick look at some major reform steps which are in the pipeline. You know, the labor codes related matter is in the parliament. Some reports are also with the standing committee. We are committed to making it better for the workers, and the workers' welfare is top on our agenda. I very will quickly run through some of the points. All this is going to be shared with you in any case, but quickly I will highlight the fact that the minimum wages at the moment is applicable only to 30% of all the workers. We want to make it universal. We want to give that right to minimum wage universally to all workers. So that is one of the major things we are working towards, and as you know, it's all discussed in the parliament. It is getting work is done in the parliament, it is happening there, but I'm giving you some of the highlights. Second is also the regional disparity in minimum wage which exists. We are trying to get over that problem, to get over the disparity which prevails by saying if there can be a national floor wage concept which can be accepted by all the states, so that the disparity which prevails between states of minimum wages can be gotten over. We are also talking about compulsorily giving appointment letters for everybody who is taken in, so that it gets formal, and also making sure annual health checkup is made mandatory for all the employees. Benefits also for workers in the interstate migration of workers, so that nowadays we come to know that workers don't get recruited through an agency or a group, which are normally the groups which bring in unskilled workers. Now employers are directly taking them on, and therefore for that also, coming from various destinations, we want to have a definition of interstate migrant workers. Again, on migrant workers, this will help in defining them better and reaching out benefits to them better. All this is in the parliament. I'm not saying it as a part of this package, but I'm only giving you a clear picture that we are committed towards improving the lot of the workers and making sure that migrant workers and other workers are treated a lot more with their formal benefits reaching them. Portability of welfare benefits is also being contemplated in the parliament for migrant workers. Again, looking at pan-India to all districts, we want to extend the ESIC benefits to all establishments which employ at least 10 people or more, and in some of the notified districts. Looking at also employees, establishment which have less than 10 employees, we want to, at least in a voluntary basis, make sure ESIC can be extended to them. On a voluntary basis, because they're very small, we don't want to burden them with anything. The other thing that we're looking at is to make it mandatory to have ESIC coverage through notification by the central government for employees who are working in hazardous industries. Because even if they're small and they don't get included, through a central notification, we want to make sure ESIC coverage is given to all those who are working in smaller units but which are engaging in hazardous activities. They get the benefit of ESIC coverage. And social security schemes are being extended even to gig workers and platform workers. That is now urban phenomena, and they should get that coverage. So we want to bring gig workers into it. We're also looking at reskilling of retrenched workers. Now in the context of COVID, this was all designed before. But in the context of COVID, we probably will have a situation where a lot of retrenched workers will need to have a reskilling exercise. And again, all occupations should be opened for women with night working rights, and also there making sure safeguards are provided for all of them. Provision also for social security funds for unorganized workers, and gratuity to be given for fixed term employment. So these are some of the things which are our commitment, which is revealed in the labor codes. 44 labor different acts have all been now compressed with extensive discussions and consultation. I must appreciate the Ministry of Labour, the Minister, Senior Minister Gangwarji, together with the Secretary, have engaged with all strata, all stakeholders, all strata of workers, to make sure that their concerns are addressed, and therefore the possibility of having those 44 laws being reduced to 4 codes. Highlights I've given you are waiting in the Parliament. Our commitment lies in having them passed after discussing in all the standing committees. I go over to today's announcements. I said there are three steps that we want to explain about the migrants. The first thing relates to free food grain. Free food grain supply to all migrants for the next 2 months. How is this? You're aware, we had already announced that for the public distribution system based, card based people who get their regular quota of rice or wheat and in their residences, we had added free 35 kgs for them, either of rice or wheat, and also said 5 kgs per individual, but per card 1 kg of pulse was announced earlier. And that additional 5 per month kg of wheat or rice was being given free. That was made clear. Now what we are saying is that continues, that remains intact. But for those who are non-card holders, meaning they are neither under the National Food Security Act, nor are they holders of any state level cards, for them they shall be given 5 kgs per person of wheat or rice, or 1 kg of chana, so that is for per family. And if the person is remaining without card, he can also get it. We are engaging with the state governments to make sure that they know where these migrants are, they can approach them and give them, because most of these migrants who have no cards are staying in those camps which are being run either by the government or by the NGOs, and therefore, based on a rough assessment which has been given to us by all the state governments, we think there are about 8 crore migrants for whom benefit will reach through this free food grain supply. The central government will take the cost and they will not be charged. 3,500 crores will be spent on this intervention within the next 2 months. So I know migrants are also moving out, either they're going back, very few are coming back. Irrespective, we are saying for the next 2 months, they shall get free rice or wheat and also 1 kg per card, per family. Without card also, you can get your rice, wheat or wheat or chana. So this will reach through the state governments. State governments will be implementing agencies. They will identify the migrants. They will take care of the full distribution and they will provide the details. The initial assessment is what I've told you. The numbers may change depending on how the state governments are going to. We've made provision for this many. That's exactly what I want to convey.